DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts. It's the week of Tuesday, February 12th, and you're listening to episode 59 of DuckTalks.
New episodes of Ducktales. Woo!
That's how we're starting. We're starting like this. We're just going to start right into it. Hey, thanks for checking out DuckTalks. My name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts, and joining me on the other end of the microphone, I guess that's how podcasting works, is Pirate Steven.
Ahoy there. Yeah, new episodes of DuckTales. Woo!
Man, it was an exciting weekend for sure. News broke around Friday. I think Friday was still in the rumor category until a little later in the evening, and we started to see confirmation. But man, it's great to know when episodes are coming.
Yeah, officially March 9th, we're getting a new episode of DuckTales. Hiatus will be over. We don't know if it's just that one episode for the month, because according to the Disney Channel schedule, we don't see anything for the following weeks. But who knows? Maybe it's late ads.
Yeah, it could be late ads. I mean, the time slots, because this episode's going to premiere at 8 a.m., the time slots are open the rest of the month, but that doesn't mean DuckTales is coming back. There was some posts by Frank on Twitter that make me think that it might not be back all month. We may not get 4 episodes. We may just get the one. We'll see. We'll know a little closer to time, I'm sure, but it's nice just to know that the show is back on March 9th at 8 a.m., and that is confirmed from Frank and a few other people on the show as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tweet out a reminder to the Disney Now Twitter account that they have a new episode of DuckTales, and they're responsible for posting it on time on that day.
That's been a problem when the show has returned before.
Yeah, they forget. They're forgetful sometimes.
Was that the season 2 premiere?
Yeah, I believe that's the one that took. I mean, they promoted it on Disney Now, and then it's not on Disney Now.
Yeah, and then Frank and Matt were both on Twitter saying, "Hey, we're on it. We're calling people."
Right, because I'm sure they want to let everybody see as well. So they probably had all these people hounding them about it.
So the burning question at this point is, on March 9th at 8 a.m., what type of cereal will you be eating?
That is a great question. It would be Special K with red berries.
Red berries.
I might even cut some bananas up, get crazy.
Wow, you go really healthy for your cereal.
You got to.
So,
I mean, we're approaching our 40s, Mitch.
But Saturday mornings are sacred. That's full-blown Cocoa Puffs for me.
Okay. You go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
That's the one day of the week I'm allowed. Other than last night, I had Cocoa Puffs for dinner. Anyway, back to podcasting. Yeah, it's great to have the show back. It's great to finally have some news to talk about. There was a promo that ran on the Disney Channel and on the Disney Now app. We've not been able to capture the video yet. I need to do that. Need to make that a priority. But it's out there. It doesn't give anything new, though. I have seen it. All stuff from previous. I think it was all from season 2, but it's nothing new, no new clips. The only thing that's new is at the end it says when the episode will air. So that's it for the promo, but it's great to be back, and we've still got a lot of great stuff planned for February and even that first week in March. That we're hoping to be able to bring some excellent podcast episodes before DuckTales is back. So we'll also be talking about the show's return and any other news, because we know we've got some great stories coming up. I've been stalking Frank over on Tumblr as he's been answering questions, trying to get a feel for what's next. Really, as far as what's next, we know that we've still got an episode with the steampunk Gizmo Duck. We know that we've still got episodes that look like we might be going back in time to the Old West or Pioneers or something like that. That could be a flashback. We don't know yet. We've already had time travel. They've already met that requirement. They said there would be time travel.
We know the title is Whatever Happened to Della Duck on the March 9th episode.
Yeah, so has that been confirmed? I mean, like, I know that's what was the rumor, and everything else in the rumor turned out to be true, but I don't know that I've actually seen the title confirmed, but I think it's true.
I believe that was what was on the Disney Channel schedule, but also Frank tweeted some
That's
emojis
right.
that had like a rocket ship and the moon, and
that's true. Okay, yeah, no, that's confirmation enough for me. I forgot about that.
and I don't know if you know this, but the Spear of Selene is a ship.
That's right.
It's not a spear at all.
Yeah,
It's not a spear or sphere. It's a ship.
it's a ship, a rocket ship that is supposedly crashed on the moon.
It's true, but I'm very much looking forward to hopefully some NES references, some more score from the moon level from DuckTales NES.
Yeah, I actually played DuckTales on the Disney Afternoon Collection Monday. I was going to play a little Battlefront 2. There was some updates recently, and I thought I'd give that another try. And had some issues with the download, of course, and decided, you know what? While I'm waiting on this, I'm going to play some retro video games. And man, I love that moon level. Like Lexi goes, yeah, why is there a giant rat?
Giant rat on the moon, and maybe Della has it as a pet.
Green cheese.
Green cheese, yep.
But there's all those duck characters running around up there too. So it's got me wondering. Because we saw Della, the last we saw Della, we kind of saw some of her surroundings, and it's not that she's just on the moon with crashed pieces of her ship everywhere. Either she's built some structures around her because she was on some kind of platform. Either she's built some structures around her, or someone else has.
Find out on March 9th.
We'll be on the edge of our seat waiting for it. Hey, we've got a ton of stuff to get to this week, and we're going to try to run through this pretty quick for this episode. I don't know why I say stuff like that. I always jinx it. I just lied to everyone listening to this, but we know you love that. As far as news goes, one other item we have, the Disney Afternoon Giant number 3, put out by IDW, is out this week. These comic books collect 2 issues from the Boom Studios era of the Disney Afternoon, which was a continuation of the shows in comic book form, and they have included so far. This is the 3rd issue. So far, there's been 2 storylines going on. One is DuckTales Rightful Owners, and the other is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Worldwide Rescue. And so we're on the 3rd part of these stories. I believe these were 4-parters, and so we're getting close to the end of these. Some surprises. In this issue is a fun issue. I just put out a review and a preview on DuckTalks.com, so you can check that out. The preview is provided to us by IDW, so you can read a few pages of the comic. It's the preview for the comic this month will include the DuckTales portion, because they've been alternating them. Sometimes it begins with Rescue Rangers. But it's good. I've really enjoyed reading these. I think you're holding out on maybe a trade or gathering them together once they're all released.
I don't have them yet. I definitely want to get into it. I would love to see a trade to read them all in one. It's like Netflix. I want to read them all in one sitting. And I don't want to handle the actual. I like to collect the comics and not handle them as much.
Okay.
I like reading the trades.
Yeah. These are 4-part stories, so yeah, I mean, a trade, it's 8 issues if they were to put these out in a trade, because you've got the 2 comics going on with each issue. It'd be interesting to see if they do that. I know I was looking online this week, earlier this week, I guess that was yesterday, I was looking online, and these issues 1 and 2 are already available on Comixology, marked down to $2.99. This comic retails $5.99, so that's already pretty significant cut in the price. If someone wanted to catch up digitally, they could do that. So we wanted to make sure we pointed that out. But yeah, a lot of fun. I really love the art in the Chip and Dale stories, the Rescue Ranger story. It's been phenomenal. The art in the DuckTales comic, it's kind of hit and miss. Like there's some pages that are just really fabulous looking. The covers are always awesome. But it's kind of inconsistent. I don't know the history of this comic well enough to be able to say what was going on, but it really looks like there was some issues with it being rushed, and it's just the colors that maybe aren't as good. The artwork seems to be the same. It's just not as finished. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to look into that further. But it's a fun read. I've read some negative things about some of the stories in the past, and also about the characterization or mischaracterization. And really, the only person that I feel is a huge departure. I'm not even going to say huge. Is a large departure from the old show is Webby, but in all honesty, she kind of feels like the current DuckTales Webby, and maybe it's because I really like that character and I've gotten used to her. I don't mind it. It really works for me. I'm okay with Webby being confident and capable, so it's a fun read. Hope people check it out. Now we'll look at some Duck merch. So first thing we've got in Duck merch is that this week, Disney Masters Volume 6 is out.
Yeah, I've been waiting. We thought this book was going to come out January 1st. It was kind of delayed a month. The Disney Masters series is really knocking it out of the park, though. They are on Volume 6 now. They have the next 5 books already scheduled and on Amazon for pre-order. And they'll be at volume 11 by the end of summer. So it's almost like they can put one of these books out almost once a month. So it's different from like the Carl Barks and the Don Rosa volumes where they did 2 a year. This one's almost 1 a year, and they've been alternating them from Mickey-centric. And I've noticed that Mickey and Goofy tend to hang out a lot in the comics. And of course, Donald has his own thing going on. But they'll do a Mickey and Goofy volume and then a Donald volume. So Donald has the even number volumes. And it's a different international comic artist or illustrator or writer that they're featuring. And for this one is, I believe, from an Italian artist. And these books are the first time you can ever read them in English. And there are 3 stories. One is a great story that has Uncle Scrooge and Donald, and of course they're going to go look for some treasure somewhere. And of course Huey, Dewey, and Louie got to bail them out as usual. Very, very felt like a DuckTales episode. And then the second one, they actually snuck a Mickey and Goofy comic in there, and it was an old Western story with Mickey and Goofy. And apparently this story is well known, and the first of several Mickey and Goofy Westerns. So that was good to have in there. I like it in there. It's called Mickey the Kid and Six Shot Goofy. And then the third story is called Me, Myself, and Why, and it's a classic gag where Scrooge McDuck creates multiple personalities. So it's him and 2 other personalities. And why does he do that? Because he wants to save money paying taxes.
He wants to get in a lower tax bracket. That's great.
Yeah, he wants lower taxes. And then what ends up happening is these personalities, he gets really into it and he can't control it. And each one of the personalities tries to put the other ones out of business. So he ends up losing a lot of money there. But it's really great stories, and it's we've read through all the Don Rosas, and we're reading through the Carl Barks. It's just good to have a different story, a different artist, or a different writer in between there to break it up a little bit. So I definitely recommend Disney Masters. The next volume is Mickey and Goofy, I believe, a pirate themed one. That comes out probably next month, and it's called The Pirates of Tabasco Bay. But the real one that everybody's really waiting for and can't wait for is Volume 8, which comes out in April, and that's Donald Duck, the Duck Avenger Strikes Again. for the first time in English, and people are going to freak out about that and get even more into the Duck Avenger, I believe.
Yeah, we know we've seen a lot of people who are interested in getting a hold of those stories and getting an opportunity to read those. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to read those. I got to get caught up on these masters. I know you've been talking about them. I am behind on them. I'm still working on the Carl Barks, which you're a little bit ahead on of me on those. Speaking of which, Beyond DuckTales has now become part of our regular podcast. We're going to try to do that every other week, but we're already going to have to put next week's off a week. So we'll probably go 2 weeks from this week before we do the next installment, which will be volume 6.
6.
And that's not called the Carl Barks Library, is it? I was looking at mine. I didn't see anything like that.
It's the complete Carl Barks Disney Library. And we, just for people that aren't following along with us, it's Fantagraphics started publishing them, but they didn't really do it in order. They started with volume 7, and then they went back and did a couple of them. But the earliest one they have is volume 5. So if you're starting and you're like, where the heck, I want to do this, but where the heck is volume 1 through 4? They haven't released them yet.
Release those later.
Yeah, they wanted to get some of the really classic stories. Like volume 7 has the first time that Donald goes to Plain Awful in the story Lost in the Andes. And then they're like, you know what? We should get the first Scrooge McDuck story out there. So Christmas on Bear Mountain is in volume 5, and really great content throughout the whole library. But definitely, if you can, try to start from the volume 5.
Oh, I'm really enjoying 6. We talked about 5 last week in our episode with Dan Cunningham, and in a couple of weeks we'll talk about 6. So you can grab these. If you go to DuckTalks, you'll be able to find multiple posts about Fantagraphics releases of these books, and we have links there to help you purchase them. They're fantastic. We've loved reading these. Fantagraphics has been an amazing sponsor of our show. And they just love this idea of reading through it together. So if you already own these volumes, read them so that you can, join the conversation throughout the week. We've seen a number of conversations spring up this week about, just Fantagraphics in general and those collections. We'd love to have conversations with everyone on Twitter and on the website in the comments about the volume that we're currently talking about. So we think that'd be a lot of fun. We had previously done this over on Discord, and the plan had been to do it live and to be able to record it, but we ended up having issues with Discord and recording. So we went through the Don Rosa library offline, and we're excited to be able to do this online now, but we don't want to lose that conversation aspect. We want to continue talking about these stories with everyone. So if you don't already own it, Amazon has the best prices we've seen. You can also find them in your local bookstores. Barnes & Noble carries these. I know I've seen volume 5 and maybe volume 7 in my local store before. Barnes & Noble, that is. But yeah, you can find them, and I think it might be possible for comic book shops to order these as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen that these are on previews. Could be wrong there. I'll ask my guy. Let's talk about some clearance items. Both, and this is something that we've talked about online for a couple of weeks now, going on the second week, I guess. Target started putting their DuckTales the bedding section. There was a comforter and some sheets and pillowcases and a really odd looking stuffed Huey that they had in their bedding section. Those items are now on clearance in their stores, so you can get them at a better price if you can find them. My store had the Huey marked down. I think it was regular $19.99. It was marked down to $9.99, but I couldn't find. I would have gotten, I was looking for the throw, and they didn't have it. I also noticed while I was in there, and I don't remember the prices, they have marked down the play sets in the toys section. The Sun Chaser and the Money Bin have a new price, so they've marked it down. I don't think it was a huge, markdown in price, but they have lowered the prices, or at least that's what the signage said.
They lowered it by $5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, $5.
But I do have from the bedding section, I have the DuckTales individual pillowcase, which is great. So I recommend that. I think it was like $5.99, but if it's on clearance or sale, definitely pick that up.
Yeah, it's marked down. And we saw someone this weekend tweeted and tagged us in their tweet that they first heard about the DuckTales sheets from us, and they bought them and made a skirt out of them. I showed Lexi, and she was pretty jealous. If we ever come across those, I might have to get them for the girls.
Yeah, I want to see this skirt or the dress you make for them.
Yeah, I may make myself a kilt. Who knows?
Nice.
Also, we have recently heard that JCPenney has marked their DuckTales merchandise on clearance. Now, that was 50% off as well, I believe.
Yeah, most of it's 50% off. They got some different, unique items. Like if you were thinking about getting your kids some DuckTales back to school items, you could shop early. And there's a Junior Woodchuck backpack that they can have for school. Regular price $30, and it's only $12 now. And there's a lunch bag, which is really cool because it also has Glomgold and Launchpad McQuack, the two front showrunners of the show. So yeah, that's a unique combination there. And then they have a Junior Woodchuck shirt, pajamas, and some slippers for kids. All kids stuff. So adults, you have to cool off a little bit. I know that everybody needs a lunch bag though.
Yeah, it's a nice lunch bag. We actually have a review on the website.
Yeah, reviewing a lunch bag, Josh did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And I think he even took a picture of his food nicely packed in that lunch bag, so that was a cool read.
Well, that was one of my concerns, was how large is this and how much food can you fit in it? And he said he was able to get a full meal in there. So great review. I did look, because when I saw that those slippers were only $4.99, I got on the website to order them for the girls because they love slippers and they both loved these. Only in toddler sizes. And the smallest sizes are already sold out. So if your toddler has big feet, these are the slippers for you.
Yeah, and people are like, oh no, all this DuckTales stuff's on clearance. That's so they can get rid of the Wave 1 stuff and roll out the Wave 2, because they got to make some room on the shelves for this stuff. Like the Fat Mojo action figures are at Target. We know Wave 2 is coming this spring, so that's why some of the price reductions you see there. I walk by that every time I go to Target. I go by that section, and it looks so weak and not as strong as previous times I've walked by it. Barely any figures left. The Scrooge and Donald one, barely ever see those in the stores.
The money stacks are all gone.
Oh, they had then money stacks at my store, but I noticed that they turned the packaging so that the peak hole's no longer visible.
What?
Yeah.
That's diabolical.
They must have read our review.
Well, a lot of people were using that, Like, that was one of the selling factors, is that you could go through and find that, because it was one Darkwing per case.
Right.
And I think one Lena,
too. Full cases, and I'm like, you know what? I know some people are looking for Darkwing. I'm going to go in there, and it could not peak.
Well, for those who are fearing that the Duck merch is going to slow down, this episode of the podcast is going to make it clear that that's not happening. We're also getting new Duck merch. And I know there's a little bit of a difference between the stuff that's for the current show and the and the classic Disney Afternoon stuff. But this was pretty cool. You came across this. I think a buddy of ours, Disney Dan, reached out to you to make sure we knew about this. The company Mondo, I think that's the name. I don't think there's any other designation. It's Mondo, is producing a Scrooge McDuck tiki mug as part of their new Disney collaboration. They're starting to produce some Disney mugs, and I think there were pins and maybe shirts.
Yeah, it looks like every month they are going to do some kind of theme and release pins and a tiki mug. They're really good at these tiki mugs and partying and all the cool stuff the pop culture offers. They just this week they had a Ghostbusters theme, so they released 4 different types of tiki mugs of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That looks awesome. If I was a Ghostbusters fan, and I am, but I don't have room for it in my house, they had all this great stuff. And this month they started their pin releases, and they had 2 pins, a regular Mickey pin, and then the second one was a Tom Whalen. And we love Tom Whalen, Sorcerer Mickey pin. And there's the first of the tiki mugs is supposed to be Sorcerer Mickey, so who knows? That might be released soon.
Yeah, that Wayland pen is nice.
Yeah,
I was admiring that. It's already sold out, isn't it?
Yeah, they sold out, and the thing is, they didn't in like the emails or on the website. It never said anything about being a limited edition.
Yeah.
So
maybe they'll get some more.
New. Yeah, and the cool part is, so we've seen a Scrooge McDuck tiki mug that we put on our blog. So maybe 1 month will be a DuckTales theme, and maybe they'll have a Tom Whalen Scrooge McDuck.
Oh man,
that's what I'm hoping for.
How much do their pins go for?
It was like $10.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
It's reasonable. Who knows what shipping's going to be, but I'm sure if you're buying a tiki mug and a pin,
I checked.
They cover it.
I checked on the tiki mugs because we had some people asking us the price range, and the tiki mugs range from about 20 to, let's see,
40.
To like it was like, I think it was on sale at 19, nice, but it goes up to like 38.
Yeah, it's cool, and who knows? I don't know how fast these things sell, but I'm definitely gonna get one when it comes out. And we know it's DuckTales.
Yeah,
DuckTales one because there's a Beagle Boy in the back.
Yeah, and it has the Disney Afternoon DuckTales money bin. Yeah. And it's really, really nice. I mean, the design that we've seen. Not sure what the color is going to be because right now they're all kind of, they're on a tan color. So not sure what color we'll see. It'd be interesting to see it in a blue or a red. I would imagine it would probably be a blue. Do they usually release them in multiple colors?
Well, like I said, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man had 4 different colors. So
okay, so it's possible.
It's something they have the power to do, and they know they want our money. So we'll see what they do.
You gonna get a full set?
No, let's not talk about it right now.
Well, no. What I was saying earlier is I did check their shipping on the mugs that they had in their regular price range. And it was like $14 for a ceramic mug. So yeah, and I mean I'm sure that's going to get to you in one piece for $14. But you throw a pin in there, maybe it's not that much more.
Maybe
drop $50, end up around $65 with a pin and a mug. We'll see. We'll be following this. And but this is already live. The pins have already started coming out. We don't know when the Sorcerer Mickey mug will hit. Are they emailing out that these are released, or are you just having to watch the website?
I've been website watching, and we recently started following them on Twitter. So we'll see when they release it. I'm sure it'll be big news.
Yeah. So you can follow us. We'll keep you up to speed on that as it's released, and let you know about our search. We spoke about Fantagraphics already, but there are a number of releases coming. I think we talked about maybe some of these that are on this list. The first one we wanted to bring up, The Complete Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. The first volume was pushed back. It was supposed to come out in February, and I don't have the date in front of me. It did get pushed back.
They pushed it back to mid-April.
Yeah.
But the cool part is if you buy it right now on Amazon's site, it's only $19.99. It retails for $30.
Yeah.
So already it's on pre-order sale of $20. So it's a good time to pick it up because Amazon has that pre-order price deal. So if it goes any lower than that, then you get that deal. But it's for what I would consider the best graphic story ever told. It's totally worth the $20. If you've never read it, you're gonna love it. If you have read it, you're going to read it again and again and again. And like I said, this is the perfect thing that if you ever meet Don Rose at a convention to get signed.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. We ordered this we pre-ordered as soon as we saw them become available because we've been begging publishers over the last year to republish this collection because we've wanted to read it and have it in our hands. You went to a library and ordered it so that you could get a hold of it. Thankfully, Fantagraphics came alongside us and we were able to read these digitally. But I wanted a copy of it, so I kept my pre-order, and I'm stoked that the price dropped down below $20. I bet that's as low as it goes. I'd be surprised if it goes any lower, but you want to lock in that price with Amazon because if it drops another $1, you'll save another $1. Even if it jumps back up to full price at release. But additionally to this, we know that it was Volume 1, which means a Volume 2 is to come. And Volume 2 is set for a release in October. And Volume 1 will be the 12 original stories for The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. And Volume 2 will be the add-on stories. So these are the stories that were written later and when he wrote them, they add to the stories in the 12 main stories. And not only that, there's going to be a complete Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck box set. And Fantagraphics does these with their releases. We see 2 volumes published together in the Carl Barks library and the Don Rosa library. Kind of tempting.
Yeah, the box set usually runs $10 less than if you bought them both individually, and it has a nice slipcover.
Yeah.
You'd have to wait till October to get volume 1 if you can wait that long. Sure, you could get the box set, but I think people need to, if you haven't read it, you need to jump in April and get a hold of it.
Yeah, really the only thing you're getting is the additional sleeve, and they're nice, but man, getting a hold of that story, it'd be hard to wait. Even though I can read it right now digitally, it'd still be hard to wait. And it's currently on Amazon. I think it was $59.99 at the moment. Like that's because they're 30 each, and I think it ended up being 60. It's not marked down at all, but the volume 1 wasn't marked down for a long time. We ordered it when it was at regular price, and I remember you messaging me the first time it was marked down.
Yeah,
notifications on that?
I think it was $1. I was like, hey, it went down $1.
Yeah. But yeah, so April 16th on volume 1 and October 15th on volume 2, and the box set should be around the same time. The Carl Barks Library volume 21, which is Christmas in Duckburg, is set to come out in April as well.
Yeah, volume 20 is going to be the in April, and the other one's in September. All right, so the Carl Barks Library, we knew volume 20 was coming out in April, and that's The Mines of King Solomon. They recently put on Amazon volume 21, which is going to be Christmas in Duckburg, which sounds really cool. Carl Barks does an awesome job with the Christmas stories, Christmas for Shacktown, and all those great ones. So looking forward to that in September. Yeah, so like we said before, Carl Barks Library, the Fantagraphics likes to put out 2 per year, so they'll do volume 20 in April and volume 21 in September, and that'll be done for Carl Barks for the year. And then next year they'll do 22 and 23.
Have you figured how many volumes there will be before we go back around to the beginning? I think Dan said that on the episode yesterday.
Well, they said with as many stories as he made, it would be 30 volumes.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
We were thinking if it's 2 per year, probably about 7 years until everything's out there.
Yeah. Lots of material to read through for Duck fans.
So, I mean, they could we talked about earlier, Disney Masters comes out with a new volume every month. I think that'd be kind of overkill.
Yeah.
For this, but I could see them doing 3 volumes a year. I think that won't push people away.
Yeah, these are really great, and I've really enjoyed reading what I've read so far. So hopefully people will check those out. I know there's already a lot of people who order these. These obviously do well because of the quality that they're putting them out. I mean, these books are really great quality, and man, just it's. I'm already considering going back and buying some of those Don Rose volumes just to have the physical copy. We already talked about Disney Masters Volume 10 and 11, right?
So Disney Masters Volume 10 and Volume 11 also got added to Amazon this week. We previously knew about Volume 8, of course, being the Donald Duck, Duck Avenger story. And then Volume 9 was going to be another, I believe, it was a Mickey Mouse, the Ice Sword saga. I haven't heard of that before, but it must be good because Volume 11 is going to be a second book to that Ice Sword saga. Ooh. And going back to Volume 10, which we know is, if we're doing the even numbers, it's a Donald Duck one. And it's going to be called Donald Duck Scandal of the Epoch Express. And I hope I said that word right.
Probably, yeah. So the Disney Masters seems to be very healthy. People are loving it. So, yeah, I recommend that just as much as Carl Barks and Don Rosa Library. Yeah, I've only read one of the early ones that Fantagraphics sent us, but I know Dan and you have been for months, have really been saying how good these stories have been. So I am looking forward to getting getting my eyes on these.
Yeah, I figure maybe after because if we keep reading at the pace we are, we'll be finished with the Carl Barks releases that have been put out there, and maybe we'll circle around again and hit the Mickey Mouse versions of the Disney Masters.
Sounds like fun. I've not read a lot of Mickey comics at all, so I'd be game for that. Hey, in October there's something fun, and man, who imagined we'd get so many hits on our website for this post?
Yeah, this is I put it out there because, you know, I'm on all the sites all the time looking for cool stuff to share with our friends, and I found something called Young Donald Duck, which is going to be a book by that IDW is going to put out there, and the front cover has like a cool young Donald and Goofy and Mickey in front of their lockers at school, and it looks like a fun story.
These are 90s characters, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of
like
screaming 90s at me.
Yeah, it could be 90s. They have the same color scheme as their regular characters, and this is the cool part about this is the first released or product description that I've ever seen so far this year that says the 85th birthday of Donald that they're celebrating. So I'm hoping we get a lot more books or products for that, celebrating that birthday, because that is, I know Mickey just turned 90 and that's a pretty big deal, but Donald's 85 this year and that's also a big deal.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it a lot, I'm sure, but it's nice to see some new merchandise that's pushing his, the anniversary of the character. I'm still shocked though at the response that we had to this post. I'm trying to pull it up right now. I think you posted that on February the 8th, and that post got over 600 views really quick. It's just crazy how many people were interested in that, I'm trying to look. You designated it as a comic.
Young Donald post I did is almost 1,000 views.
Yeah. It's nuts. I don't think IDW is prepared for the amount of people that's going to go into comic book shops and ask for this comic book. People are interested in it. I think that's cool. And it looks fun. I know, I pick up a lot of books from IDW. They're all ages lines. And this will be in my pool. I want to check this out and see what's going on with it. Also in October, this is not by IDW. This is going back to Dark Horse. So Dark Horse also has the Disney license for comic books. And they're going to be putting out a Christmas Carol starring Scrooge McDuck graphic novel. That was a bit of a surprise. Do you think this is going to be an adaptation of the classic Christmas Carol or something new? Maybe because they've been putting out the books based on classic stories. Do you think this is going to be an even more Dickens version of the story?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close to the book, and maybe so it'll be like the cartoon version, but more expanded upon. We've already seen the cover for this one, and like you said, Dark Horse is just really pumping these books out there, and a lot of the ones that we're interested in are classic novels that they're readapting with Disney characters. So A Christmas Carol we know has already been done by the Disney animation team, so we'll see how this one goes. But this was also a very popular blog for us.
Yeah. And it should be. That was exciting to see that. It was a surprise for sure that this book was coming out, and I'm on board with what they're doing with these stories. I can't wait to get a hold of it and to see what they've done. Because I'm with you. I think it's going to be more of the Dickens story than just another comic version of the classic Disney animation. You want to talk about, you found this on Amazon. There's a new Disney DuckTales book coming out in August, and it's loading. Okay. It's called Disney DuckTales Duck Golf.
Yeah, so this was just me doing a random search for DuckTales, and it's great to see. This one's going to be based on one of the animated episodes we've already seen, The Missing Links of Moorshire, and that's the golf one if you don't remember that. And it's going to have interactive features. So I'm guessing you can slide the characters to hit the ball and be the description makes it seem like you're a part of the story because you're actually doing stuff. This one again is a kid's book, but we dig those as well. So yeah, it's just cool to see new DuckTales merchandise, books and stuff that is based on the new DuckTales.
Yeah, and that's out August 6th, or at least that's what the pre-order says. Now, your post also has a 5-minute DuckTales stories. I know Disney puts these out. You see them all the time. I see them at Kohl's and at Walmart, and I was about to say at Toys R Us, but I don't see them there anymore, sadly. But been seeing these. They do this with a lot of different franchises. I didn't even realize they did Avengers, but way to go pulling that and putting that in your blog. But that's exciting. I know the girls will be very excited about these. We like doing those quick, bedtime stories.
Yeah, and they have, for parents, it's kind of like the book says, it has a timer of 5 minutes on it. So it's a good way to read a bedtime story and get the kids to bed.
Nice. Now, with all the items that we've talked about, mostly books, but with all the items that we talked about, if they're on Amazon, and you can go to our blogs, DuckTalks.com, and there's a link to Amazon. Now, those links, we are a Amazon affiliate, so those links actually support our podcast and the website, which is great because we're not asking you for money to help us do this or to get a hold of things for reviews. Some companies like to send us stuff to review, and other companies maybe don't have the ability to do that yet, or aren't on board with us just yet. We're working on that. But with the Amazon affiliation, we're able to get just a little bit of funding from Amazon for that advertising that we're doing for them. So that's a really great partnership, and that costs you nothing. So if you're interested in any of these, we'd really appreciate if you go to the website and use those links, and of course read and of course, read the review or the description and information that we have there. We'll try to give you all the information we can find to help you find what you're looking for. You got a package in the mail recently that I know you were extremely excited about, and my phone got blown up with a lot of pictures. Why don't you tell people about? I'm sure if they follow us, they saw your posts, they saw your blog, and everything.
I'm really excited about this company. It's not one I've really purchased from before, or been a super mega fan of like I am now, but it's called Hero Cross, and they're a Hong Kong based company. Some other stuff might be carried at like Entertainment Earth or different comic book shops and things like that, but if you're not getting it from there, you got to get it from a third party vendor, or if you have to go to like eBay or Hero Cross's website. But they have one of their biggest lines is hybrid metal figures, and you hear that and you go, "What the heck is that?" And it's figures that are part plastic and part metal, which is cool because it doesn't feel like it's metal. It feels like it's a regular action figure, but a lot of the interior parts of it is metal, so that the articulation is really nice with it, and it stands sturdy, and it has a good weight to it. And I like it because it feels valuable in my hands, because it's not all plastic, or I definitely would be afraid to drop it because I don't want to mess it up. It's definitely one of my favorite things in my Disney Duck collection, and it's a screw. I don't know if I've been blabbing about this for so long. I don't know if I said it was a Scrooge McDuck.
You did not. I've been waiting.
Yeah. Yes, it's a Scrooge McDuck figure, and they just released Scrooge McDuck, Daisy Duck, and Webby Vanderquack in this series of Disney Ducks that they have. And previously they had released a Donald Duck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie 3-pack, or I believe you can buy them individually, but they're so nicely done. I would compare it to my other favorite Hong Kong-based figure store, which is Hot Toys. I mean, those are freaking expensive, but they're really great detailed toys, the best you can buy out there. So this is the best you can buy out there figure wise for Scrooge McDuck figure. It is awesome. I totally recommend it. Please check out my blog. You can see I posted a lot of pictures of the posability, and it's a really cool figure.
And the packaging too. You included a lot of images of the packaging, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm not an in-box collector, but I mean, of course, they have the window and where you can, if you wanted to keep it in the box, and it's I believe I paid $76 for this figure. It is not cheap. If you order from the website, shipping is really expensive, but you're getting it from a different country, and it's weighs a little bit more than others. But you get a lot for it. A really high quality figure nowadays does cost around that much money. Mm-hmm. There's 3 different heads, alternate head sculpts for this. I mean, as far as different ways you pose them, there was 7 additional hands, so his hands could pose in different ways, or you can use different hands to hold things. There's a feather duster for him to dust his number 1 dime. There's a dime, his number 1 dime pedestal. A couple of coin stacks, his cane, and his musket. So you're getting a lot of stuff for that amount of money.
It's an awesome looking figure. I didn't realize it came with the dime stand. That's really cool. You didn't send me a picture of the dime stand.
It's in the review.
And I didn't realize the feather duster either. The 3 heads are really cool because you've got a kind of standard look. You've got the money eyes, which are really good, and then the angry Scrooge, which would be a lot of fun. You've done some really cool poses and already posted some images. A lot of these are really good. The blog it's worth checking out for sure. Pirate is an artist when it comes to taking photos of these figures. I just come across the angry Scrooge with the fist in the camera. That's really good. I've looked at the pictures you sent me. I obviously didn't look at the blog yet.
Tisk. Yeah, it's fun. I could totally see myself using this figure for other reviews and stuff. Just because the sheer size of it. I took a picture of it holding one of the Funko Pocket Pop figures, mm-hmm. and it looks like he has a Funko Pop in his hand, so it's really, really fun.
Yeah, and I know we've had some people mention, where to get these, and you said, you'd have to either go to the website, but do you see these on eBay every now and then? Have you done searches recently?
Yeah, if you go on eBay and you search for Scrooge Hero Cross, you can find them on there. They're almost the same price as
getting a new one.
I mean, they'll be the same price, but the shipping is expensive from Hong Kong. But if you pay, this is definitely a collection you could do if you pace yourself and did like one every few months or so. I wish I would have known about it when Donald Duck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie were released, because I'd probably have those and I won't have much to buy now. But I definitely plan on getting any other ones. I'm just going to pace myself. Because Toy Fair is this week, and wow, are we excited about that. And it's just going to be more stuff. It's the most expensive week I feel in my life, and where I'm not spending money. I'm just calculating in my head of all the stuff my kids are going to want for Christmas and for their birthdays this year, and all the stuff I want for Christmas and birthdays this year. So we're looking forward to covering Toy Fair this weekend.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're going to end this podcast, is talking about this. Toy Fair starts, I think you said Saturday, but there might be some early stuff come out late this week.
Yeah, different companies like to preview their stuff on different days, so they're special when no one else is doing it. Fat Mojo will be at Toy Fair. Everybody knows we're good friends with them, so they have told us that a second wave is coming, and it's the most exciting figures they have yet. So we don't exactly know what that means. We did show Sean a thread of people what their most requested characters were, and he said there's going to be some people that are going to be extremely happy. So I hope he was looking at mine where I said Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't wait for as soon as they release pictures of those new Fat Mojo DuckTales merchandise. We're going to be on it like a hawk, and we're going to post that stuff all over the our social media. So let us cover Toy Fair for you. Follow us on social media and enjoy it. You'll love it from what we hear.
Yeah, and if you come across something, definitely share it with us too, because you may follow someone who happens through an area that gets, an early look at something. So we'd love to hear about that as well. But we are going to be on it. I've got to work some on Saturday, but otherwise, planning on spending some time watching what's going to be released at this huge fair. Maybe in the future we have someone there, or we make it up to New York, but. I don't think it's a good idea for us to take our wallets up to New York. For people who maybe don't follow this, I haven't followed this in years past because I don't buy a lot of toys or figures. But this is an industry convention, right? So there's not like a lot of things being sold. This is more an introduction of the coming lineup or something.
Yeah, it's not. So Funko is going to be releasing. They'll probably show like 100+ images of new Funko Pops and stuff that's coming, but it's not like somebody can go there and buy this stuff. This is for all the toy industry to show off their catalog of what is coming out this year, or at least preview it to media, because it's a media event. It's not they don't sell tickets to it. You have to have like press passes to go to it.
Okay. We're looking forward to seeing what Funko has, because at the end of last year, they kind of pushed a lot of Disney Afternoon. We feel like they were previews of possible lineups, because, we did get additions to Tailspin and Darkwing Duck, but we also got Goof Troop and Rescue Rangers pops for the first time, and they were just singles. So we're hoping 2019 we maybe get some collections for those shows. That's what I'll be watching for.
And gummy bears. We need more gummy bears.
Everybody needs more gummy bears. Wow, that was supposed to be like 30 minutes, but it's closer to an hour. Let's wrap this thing up. Hey, that's what we do when there's no episode of DuckTales to talk about.
We are the kings of hiatus.
We're okay with the hiatus.
I feel like we should make a hiatus shirt.
That would be a good idea. We can come up with something. We'll do that. Well, that's going to be it for this week. Check us out at DuckTalks.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at DuckTalks. We're also on Tumblr, DuckTalksPod. You can email us. You got any questions, suggestions, anything like that, send it over to DuckTalksPod@gmail.com. We love to get emails, and we do answer those pretty timely. It could be me or Pirate, actually. And let's see. They can also check us out individually on Twitter. I'm at Infinirama616.
And I'm at the Pirate Steven.
Check us out online. We post all the time about DuckTales and Disney Afternoon and anything related, Kingdom Hearts, all that good stuff. We didn't even check in with you on that. We'll have to do that next time. See how things are going. I know you're easing in.
We'll have to bring Jason on, and he'll just explain everything to us.
Yeah. I need it because I'm still confused. But yeah, that's it for this week. Until next time.
Stay glom golden.
No more hiatus.